Hi, everybody. I'm Raj with Sickbay. Sickbay is software that lives inside the hospital and collects and delivers physiologic data at scale. My team goes out into the field and talks to our clients and users to understand how clinicians, researchers, and quality folks can make the most use out of this novel data set that they now have access to. Joining me today are my colleagues Michonne and Jamie to talk a little bit about Sickbay from the researcher's perspective. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. Good to be here.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your perspective working with algorithms at Sickbay.
Yeah, so the topic I was going to focus on is my experience developing a central apnea detection algorithm for neonates. And that's something I got to learn about from experts in the field who told me about this problem where neonates have this really malleable rib cage. And so their heart movement comes up a lot more than you would see in adults. And because of that, the chest impedance signal, which measures breathing, ends up having this heart artifact. And so some devices actually miss apnea events, which are very problematic because the patients, the neonates, are not treated as quickly. And specifically in the neonate or premature baby population, apneas are really common. And so this is something that we want to make sure that we're addressing. And so I was able to develop an algorithm to remove this heart artifact component using Sickbay. And one of the things that's super exciting about Sickbay for me and others in the fields is that it collects this gold standard, amazing data set passively in the background. And so I don't need to focus on this data collection aspect that historically has taken almost all of my time in previous roles. So I continued kind of the way that I was able to use Sickbay was apply it to these specific periods of data as I developed it, and then deploy at a really large scale to identify how can I make this better? How can I improve performance? And getting a lot of clinician feedback along that route. And now we're getting ready to deploy a prospective study within Sickbay. And we've developed this custom dashboard based on clinician feedback and have really been able to take advantage of the fact that Sickbay gives this autonomy to researchers to deploy algorithms on their own and to really quickly iterate and get feedback from clinicians so that they're actually making sure that they're developing something that's useful to clinicians and not just for their study or their publication.
So this is such important work. It really does change care long-term when something like that is able to be validated and used. So tell me a little bit, what's the normal, before Sickbay, right? You said in other roles, you spent a lot of time collecting that data. What's a normal time frame to collect that much data? So you can do it so quickly with Sickbay because it's automatically happening in the background and it's the highest fidelity data possible. Without Sickbay, what were you doing? What was the process? How long did it take?
I mean, well, first of all, you're just not going to compare in terms of the size of the data set. You're also typically either going to spend a lot of time trying to time synchronize all of the data together and potentially have errors there. So you really can't do the really cool stuff that you can do in Sickbay where you're analyzing waveforms and you're looking at, less than a millisecond kind of comparison between different data types coming from different devices. And it's also likely going to be much more flawed and subjective in that you're spending a lot of time designing the actual study, and you're dependent on the people that are running the study being consistent as this goes on. So really you can't compare in terms of even getting a data set of that size, quality, and there's so many errors and time that has to go into it. So very exciting to work with Sickbay.
It's really about speed to care, right, at the end of the day. Great.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing, Raj.
Hearing about how, large scale data collection delivery can improve multiple groups in the hospital, right? The clinicians taking care of these patients, but also the researchers looking to push the state of the art forward in monitoring technology, right? It's the same data set can be used in both places for the benefit of all. Thank you, Jamie, for coming on and telling your story. If you out there are interested in learning more about Sickbay, or if you are a Sickbay user and you'd like to come on and tell us your story, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line. Until then, thank you, and we'll see you next time.